Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading room. Hang on here just a second, and let's see what we can do here. Sorry, hold on a moment here. I hate these pop-ups that come onto your computer to update stuff. All right. So here we are with the NASDAQ this morning. Yesterday, turning out to be a little bit of a roller coaster overall. The market making here, let's take a look at the daily chart. I was going to scroll back through the Eagle, but the daily chart would be easier to see. All right, so here was yesterday's session. Like I said, a little bit of a roller coaster, higher and lower. The market kind of finishing very, very neutral. And as we've been watching the last few days, we've got a trend line intersection that way and a trend line break this way. When the trend line broke over here, volume is up. Remember how I told you, normally we associate relative volume with the size of the bar. So big bars should have big volume, small bars should have small volume. But take a look at the volume here yesterday. That was kind of big for a market that didn't go anywhere. So that tells me that things are winding up a little bit. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. There we go. Things are winding up a little bit, and the market is gaining some sort of momentum. I would suspect it would be a little bit more bullish, although I am thinking we're going to see a little bit of a downside break somewhere through here. All right, let's put that away for now. And let's keep a lookout here. Well, you can see here our Eagle, very, very sideways here at the moment. The Eagle is a great tool for kind of getting the bird's eye view, if you will. And to me, so long as we are kind of within this range right here, so long as we're within this range right here, the market will probably continue sideways. We need for it to break out. Oh, speaking of which, we may get a test here now to the long side. We did produce a number one signal back here to buy. Oh, and maybe some follow through on that as well. That number one signal coinciding here with the trend change signal on the Falcon. It's still very early, of course. We're only 5-6 minutes into the session. Now that we have broken out, and this is the retest now, you could put a just in case order to buy right up there. What we're looking for now is for the buyers to recover. We're back here in the hard edge. Oh, there's the hard edge buy. And because the market is still kind of sideways, I think it's advisable to use a second push opportunity. Now, the second push simply means we allow the signal to engage, we see where the market reacts, and then we use that zone or that bar as our signal bar. I suspect we have comparable signals. Well, actually, no. Well, here on the Raptor, we have a number 3 signal. I thought for sure there would be a first micro macro cross in the hawk here somewhere. All right, let's go back here now to the Eagle trade. So we saw the market flinch here. That's our second push opportunity. The fact that it's breaking down means that we can actually bracket this trade now. The idea, again, is if the market isn't going to follow through on the breakout higher, it's probably going to try to head lower. And it's probably going to try to test the bottom end of this trading range somewhere. There is a trend line that would fall right about there. So let's set that as a profit objective for now. And let's just see how that lines up with the support and resistance suite. Okay, so we do have a median line down here. Got some serious waffling going on. By the way, this is also a rule of 3 signal, even though we've only had 2 counter trend signals. What time is it? Ooh, it's still very, very early. Okay, here comes now the third signal. So now we have a rule of 3. And the rule of 3 is your counter trend signal for the eagle. And I'm going to start to roll my stops in much more aggressively, and hooray, hit the profit target. And as we might have expected, a little bit of a reaction as we get down toward the median line and, of course, that trend line. So hooray for us. Nice little trade. Nice way to start the day. I'm becoming a little bit more familiar with the Ninja 8 programming. And now we're getting a little bit of a sideways pushback again. All right, this back and forth is still because as we looked at the daily chart, we've got all that, uh, price activity. We've got kind of the junction where the buyers and sellers have gotten very, very neutral. Well, that's quite the bullish rally. Take a look at that. Here, just when you think the market might be getting a little bit more bearish, they're going kind of crazy here. still early, like I said. How's that? I told you I'm having problems this morning. There's lots of gremlins here in the office. I don't know if you guys heard Mark's comment, which I read out. Let me first point this out. We've had the trading range. We've got the breakout. Here's the retest. Here's my just in case order to buy if the uptrend continues. Here is my just in case order to sell if this breakout fails. This is the safer order, your order to buy. This, trying to short it, is a much more aggressive type posture given that we've just seen this great big rally that occurred right here. Let me go back here to Mark's comment. Mark was saying about the late filter entry signal. In case my microphone blanked there, Mark said, I'm hoping it's just temporary, but there have been several late filter entry trades over the past week that have been right at pivot points and failed miserably. Same thing happened about 3-4 years ago and made things very suspect. Not getting my normal high percentage, that's for sure, just an observation for what it's worth. It probably is just temporary. The markets do go through these cycles. You're going to find that for those of you who are just starting out trading, just when you think you got everything under control, the market will start to do something totally unusual. Usually in the sense that, well, like what we're witnessing here. You know, we've got so many small days, right? Just so many days where the market is chopping back and forth. It's not like here where we have nice ranging days all through here the last few months. Even though some of these days finished like doji bars, the ranges, look at the size from top to bottom, decent size ranges almost every single day. And look at what's been going on for the last couple of weeks here. Mostly very small days overall. No doubt the politics in the United States having something to do with that, the government shutdown and all. All right, let's see if we get them coming back from this. You can see that we broke now this bottom end just barely. Actually, given the proximity to the hard edge, it might have been advisable to wait for a second push opportunity. If I can get a bear bar here, I'm going to start to roll my stops in very, very aggressively. Like I said, the short was a much more aggressive type posture for this trade. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to roll my stops down, like I said, much more aggressively now. Funny thing, well, or not funny thing, government shutdowns, like what you're experiencing in the US right now, could not happen in Canada. If in Canada, if the budget isn't agreed upon, the government is defeated. It's a vote of non-confidence, and we have another election. It doesn't usually happen. It happened a few years back. All right, here we go. We've got, I'm rolling my stops here now, bar for bar, mostly because of the size of these bars. There's a little bit more open profit in play. And just given the nature of the marketplace here, it was probably advisable to take profit. Now, what we just saw occur here is probably one of the most basic market conditions, and it's a very reliable way to trade. What it calls on from you is patience, and patience, surprisingly enough, is something, well, maybe not so surprising, is something that traders are in relatively short supply. So when you identify a sideways range, you look for the breakout, you look for the retest, then you look for evidence that the market is going to try to continue the trend. Now, we actually did get a buy signal here, and it would have been perfectly acceptable to try that buy signal. I tend to be a little bit more cautious on breakout trades. I suppose it's from getting burned so many times over the year. So I throw my order above the high, above the breakout high, and then as we had the retest, you could actually bring it in there, and then I also had my order to sell. Because the market had this strong rally up and the breakout, the retest, the market should have continued higher. The fact that it could not continue higher is what caused this move lower. So once we got here into this range, right about here, all of a sudden we start stopping out all the buyers, all the people that climbed on board right here to rally the market up. You can see they tried again right here, and then they had to get out of their position. So something to keep a lookout for. Now, if I were trading my trade quota, I've gone 2 for 2. If I had a 3 trade quota, I would now be on the alert for a third trade. But I'm usually a fan of smaller trade quotas, especially if you're starting out. You know, have 1, 2 trade quotas. Don't get looking at the market to take 5 or 6 or 10 trades in a day. That is really difficult to do. The only way you can pull that off is to have a very, very tight profit target where you're scalping in and out for 3, maybe 5 ticks. But then you get to the point where, is it really worth it? If you're only making 3 ticks, that's 15 bucks. 5 ticks, 25. By the time you pay your commissions and fees, it's a lot of stress for 10 or 15 bucks a trade. And now we got more of the sideways back and forth. Like I said before, the challenge for us is when the market is this sideways is to exercise patience. And more back and forth. What are you going to do? Yeah, Mark says, having to be very selective and adjust my stops accordingly. Just not as easy as it was a week ago, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm sure you're not alone in your in the way you feel here. Mark says, and yes, the political situation just blows. Can't believe these adults like the Brexit thing. Just about. Dan asking a great question here. Dan's asking about the tick size. Uh, with the Ninja 8, I have also gone with the Mean Renko Bars version 2.0. What we did with the Mean Renko Bars is we've made them a little bit more adjustable. So let me show you here. Now, for the most part, you can go with your regular Mean Renkos. If you want to change to the new Mean Renkos, yeah, there they are. Oh, sorry, I forgot. That's not where I go to change them. You go here to your data series. And your indicator warehouse Mean Renko bars now have a trend feature and a reversal feature. What this does is it allows you to adjust the tick size of the body and the wick, the body being the trend, the reversal being the wick. Now, by default, what you can do is with our hawk, our default brick size is 6 ticks. The falcon and the raptor are 8 ticks, and the eagle is 12 ticks. So your trend size and your reversal size will be the same. So it will be 6 and 6 for the hawk, 8 and 8 for the falcon and the raptor, and then 12 and 12 for the eagle. Now, for the most part, they should display very similar to the mean Renko bars version 1. Occasionally, however, you will see a slight discrepancy between the two. It's just because the version 2.0 has that little added sensitivity built into it. Let me point out regarding the trade calculator, Ben did a nice little feature here where it's going to be difficult for you to see, I know, because of the screen resolution. But the trade calculator now has a dollar amount displayed as well for your risk. And we were talking the other day about stop orders, how if you hover over your buy and sell buttons and roll your wheel, you can select between market orders, stop orders, and limit orders. Now, the nice thing about a stop order and the way the trade calculator works, you can see here we have the buy order right there, right? So what you could do is you could wait for either the line to get up there, or you can select your stop order, and because these orders are live when you put them on your chart, you can actually roll it up there. Now, you may have to adjust your profit target a little bit as well, but it will lock in your risk, and it allows you to buy on a stop. So if you're like me and your reflexes aren't so hot anymore, it makes it an easier way for you to buy in. And you can adjust your stop parameters here in your indicator panel. So if you select your trade calculator, where did I put it? I think by default it's 4 or 5 ticks. You can increase that for your limit and your stop orders. So like I said, the orders go live as soon as you put them on your chart, so you can adjust them if you're using a stop order to get into a trade. We're going to be working a trend change signal here in a moment. What the new mean Renko allows you to do as well is it allows you to tweak your trades, your charts a little bit more. But when in doubt, stay with the defaults. As you can see, I tend to trade the defaults pretty much exclusively. The only exception being the E-mini S&P, which requires a smaller brick. Oh, there's that number 1 signal. Come back here. So I'll throw my order in there, and now I will use this as my just in case order, or my second push order on the number 1. I'm going to get my exit order out of the way for now, and I will roll it in. So we've got the second push opportunity, and if the market continues lower from here, I will cancel the trade. I need to remember with the trade calculator that these orders are live, so I got to get the stop order out of the way, the exit order out of the way. I don't want to get filled on the exit before I get filled on the entry order. Can the market be any more neutral? I think not. Just spent most of the morning here between the primary resistance and the median line. Had a couple little rallies, but nothing too terribly significant. All right, so now we got the buy order filled. I'm going to bring my exit order 2 swings back, and hopefully we'll just get a quick little push up from here. Oh, slight little hesitation. Come on. I'm not looking for a lot here. Okay, I'm going to be more aggressive now. You see how we have a couple of bull bars? I don't want to get knocked down here. This is kind of do or die now for the buyers. Get up there. All right, I'm going to take the trade to break even now. Get going. Couple more ticks. Whew. There we go. Oh, actually, some very nice follow through on that trade. Kind of trade you wish you had a runner on, but you know what? I'm okay with that. We've gone 3 for 3, and we've made a decent profit here today. So again, if I were trading with a quota, my day is done. You know, I've made my $400, and we were looking for high probability trades. We were trying to be selective. Yes, did we max out the market? No, we did not. You know, we missed missed this big rally up. And I might have gotten out a little bit too early here. So we had the one leg here, and then the second leg up here. But we took our share. And like I said, now my day would be done. Yeah, it's hard work, like Mark says. The key, I've mentioned this before, but for the benefit of those of you who haven't heard me get up on my soapbox before, the key to successful trading is to trade multiples. So this morning we're up $400. If you want to earn more than that, you need to get yourself in a position where you're trading 2 contracts or 4 contracts or 5 contracts. Because if we were trading 5 contracts, that same $400 would be $2,000. Still not enough? Trade 10 contracts. So it's not a question of finding more trades. It's not a question of Well, actually, today wouldn't have been too bad managing some of these positions because the pullbacks weren't that deep. I was going to say it's not a question of being a super trade manager where you roll your stops at just the right time to take advantage of all these big moves. Today, relatively easy compared to the other day where we had some very, very deep pullbacks, made it very, very difficult to manage. Oh, way to go, Mark. Mark says, I've had 3 late filter entries for a decent profit this morning, but my comfort of stop placement has my adrenal gland working overtime. It sounds like you probably are ending up having to run a relatively deep stop to make the trades work. Although today we are seeing better follow through. Here was a nice little late filter entry signal. I suspect Mark got in on that one. So here's the late filter right there. Filter out of sync, back into sync. Trend line doesn't change color. Then we produce the signal. I imagine your stops were probably back here somewhere, which once the market started going, you can breathe a little easier. But if you get those deeper pullbacks, yeah, it makes you squirm in your seat a bit. And here we go again, back in a little bit of a retest mode. Personally, I don't mind a slower market. It kind of suits my personality a little bit better. I don't have to think too quickly. As my wife will be the first to tell you, I'm not always the best at making snap decisions. The band counter reading a little bit broad here. We're up to about 52 ticks now on the Raptor. Does open up the possibility of a quick little reverse, although for the most part the market is more bullish today. See, here referencing our daily chart again. Still within inside yesterday's trading range, though. Looks like we may challenge yesterday's highs. A break above yesterday's highs would be, I think, considered bullish by most traders. Well, and here now that number 2 signal that we were just talking about. Got a couple late filter entry signals again here on the Falcon. So a second push might be the way to go.
And now we're pulling back again. It has been very, very quiet today. Kind of comes and goes. Well, not much we can do with it until we get outside this trading range. So we just got to sit put. Well, almost back to the hard edge. Made the first hard edge here in the Raptor. Okay, a little bit of a rally now. And that was short-lived. It does kind of reinforce, well, both the sideways trading that we're experiencing, kind of a mini sideways range right here. And it does open up the opportunity for a number 2 signal. All right. Well, we're going to get a trend change signal here on the Falcon. We've already got a number 3 signal here on the Raptor. Let's see, a number 3 signal formed way down here. It did hit its profit objective. You could treat this as a second push opportunity, even though it is quite a ways away. I would not be opposed to a number 2 to short. All right, this is very close now to the hard edge. So what I'm looking for here now is evidence of a failure. Well, it's a bit of a sloppy number 2 signal. I think what I'll do is I will look for either another little retest and failure and try to short that, or I will have my just in case order. Actually, I'll throw my just in case order to sell below these lows. It's almost as though we have a tiny little sideways trading range. Here's a tiny little breakout. But I would much prefer to see a proper number 2 signal build, which means we're going to see a little bit of a rally here first. The market stopping, failing to go higher, and then reversing and trying to head lower. And like I said, this is my just in case the bottom falls out of the market and doesn't give me a chance to get in order. Well, the Falcon never did produce that trend change signal. It was working it right here. The Hawk, a red bar buy, which we could sell the failure of. We don't have the red bar buy just yet. We just have the warning dot, but we're getting warmer. I was hoping to see the retest through here. I don't want to see the retest after the break. In fact, it may be advisable to wait for a second push opportunity because the whole trading range thing, right? If this is our trading range, we want to see the breakout, we want to see the retest, then we want to see the market continue lower versus trying to trade it on the breakout. But the market is struggling going higher, so we're in the hard edge here now. Our reaction to the hard edge looks like the profit target will be down here somewhere by the primary resistance zone. All right. Well, look at that. I didn't even need to worry about putting a stop in play. That's why I had my just in case order there, because this right there, this zone right here is where the buyers were placing their exit orders. The buyers that were buying all the way down here in this region, a lot of them would throw their exit orders below that swing low. This is what is referred to as trapping traders. When you find those areas of support or resistance that get tested and retested, it looks like there's obvious buying going on in this case. When that area fails, there should be a quick little follow through. And that's exactly what happened today. Just a little fun fact here. When you get those areas, if this breakout did not have the quick little follow through, then you gotta get your stops in very, very tight. So let's say your initial stop was here. If we got filled and the market really started to flounder, get your stops in, or just punch out of the trade immediately. Hit your close button to get out of the trade, because if you're not trapping traders out of their buy positions, what's going on is that the buyers are adding to their positions, and that will cause the market to rally. So when you have those support or resistance zones that are reinforced, you get the breakout. If the breakout does not have some immediate follow through, get your stops in really, really quick, or maybe just punch out of the trade entirely. And you may even consider reversing on the position and buying the market on the next signal up. All right, well, if I wasn't done before, I am certainly, or I would certainly be finished now. I would not be looking to take any more trades. And we're kind of back inside that bigger trading range again. Overall, the market hasn't moved very far today. swung a little bit either side of 6,700, but that's kind of skewering the market right in the middle. Overall, my personal opinion is that the rally will continue, or rally attempts will continue. We're just too close to yesterday's highs for the market not to try to break above there. Oh, back and forth. Once the trading room finishes here this morning, I'm doing a home project around the house. As many of you may or may not know, my background is in construction, so well, a lot of you won't know the red-green reference, but I'm kind of the handy guy. And a couple months back, I got a lift of hardwood flooring delivered. Boy, oh boy, those hardwood flooring guys earn their money. I'm doing the hardwood flooring in the living room and the kitchen. It seemed like a good idea at the time. And of course, I don't know what it's like where you live, but here, the demand for tradespeople is so tight that I'd be lucky to get somebody in here by summer. So I'll just keep plugging away at it. Yeah, Dan asked, do you know Make It Right, Mike? Mike Holmes? Yeah, not personally, but he's quite the character. It's nice doing a home renovation when there's no budget. A lot of times the tradespeople and the suppliers, just to be on his show, they donate their time and materials. Red Green is a Canadian comedian who is Steve Smith is his real name, but he's kind of funny, you know, in a stupid kind of way. But he would fix everything with duct tape. That was Red Green's claim to fame. Yeah, I'm lucky, Mark. I've got good knees. Mark says you're better than me. My knees were shot from too many army jumps, and I had done that 2 years ago, and just watching those guys work hurt my knees. Wish you the best and keep your hands from getting pinched. I knew a fellow with the Princess Patricia Canadian Light Infantry, which is kind of like our, well, they're not really like the Navy SEALs, but it's like the snipers, the Canadian Sniper Corps. But yeah, he did a lot of paratrooping, and he had horrible knees too, jumping out of airplanes all the time. All right, so we've got another pullback. The trading band has flipped over. We got a sell signal here, but you know what? The lack of momentum and the fact that we are in this sideways range. I don't know if I want to try to short it again. I would be open to a possible buy, you know, if we're going to do a measured move. There's move number one. If the market gets some giddy up from here, we could see 67.30. That would certainly put us back near yesterday's highs. Yeah, Mark says it seemed like fun at the time. Hindsight is 2020. Yeah, let's go jump out of an airplane. This same fellow, I think I've shared with you before, they were doing war games or something or another in the Baltic Sea, and they were trying to figure out how to get soldiers onto the beachhead faster. And he's a big boy. He's like 6'4", and he's built like a linebacker. And they were contemplating shooting him out of a torpedo tube in a submarine to get him onto the beachhead. And he said, "No, I'm not doing that." You Army guys, though, you all have the best stories. He kept us in stitches for hours. All right, we've got a number two signal, a reversal signal. We had a number two signal back here that failed. We've got another number two signal to buy. No, it's going to fail as well. Okay, so I'll put the buying attempt on the back burner for now. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Mark says when you're young, one thinks you're invincible, and you don't know. I see it with our grandson all the time. The stuff that he does, and of course, it brings back memories of all the stupid things I used to do. Well, that number two signal was quickly followed up with a number three signal. It did not print as a number three signal because this bar did not quite intersect the hard edge, but it is still a number 3 signal visually. Got a little bit of follow through on that. And I suppose I could have been a touch more aggressive on the short. There's no point in trying to buy anything until we breach this downtrend line. Wow, they're really going now. Shoot. Honestly, I didn't think the sellers had that much left in them. The way the market had paused, I thought we're going to see a little bit of a rally. Nope. And we made it all the way back down to the median line. Look at that. So again, we haven't really drifted too far off of, like I said, the 6,700 zone, the primary resistance, kind of holding the market for the most part. But we're back near the lows of the day. So after several minutes of sitting around doing nothing, the market seems like it always wants to get a little bit of a move. That's kind of been the way the day has played out. We saw the move up here, just this recent move down here, another swing earlier, and overall, we haven't gone anywhere. So while our day was looking a little bit more bullish, now we are decisively bearish again. if they're not going to trade above yesterday's highs, they're going to make a run at the lows. So this does open up the possibility of a move lower back somewhere towards 6,600. Haven't really tipped one way or the other, though. That's the problem. You know, it makes a move and then it stalls. Makes a move, and then it goes the other way and stalls. That's kind of where we're at right now. All right, here we go with another number 2 signal. All right, just to close out the day, I'm going to take a look at this number 2 signal. And I'll set my order and I'm going to roll my, come on now. So we've got the number 2 signal to buy, and I'm anticipating the market is going to breach this trend line. There's a little bit of a hesitation. Come on, get on through. There we go. We'll take it here to the we'll take it to the break even now. Come on, give me that second effort. You can do it. Oh, they're just hanging there. That's really close. I don't know if they're going to let me away with this or not. Nope, not right now. Okay, but what's significant is we have had a trend line break. That does open up the possibility of the market becoming a little bit more bullish. So a little something to keep in mind. You could, again, just throw your second push order in above this high, which is your second push off that number 2 signal. and try to look to buy the market up should it continue to rally from here. All right, gang. I'll see you again tomorrow. Like I said, the market really, really balanced at this point. It could go higher, it could go lower. Just be careful. I wouldn't hang on too long until the market shows us which way it really does want to go. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.